Good morning, good people. Excuse me. Today is Friday, the 4th of October, 2024. Excuse me. Friday, the 4th of October, 2024. Here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life, which is a journey. There is a destination after this life, and the destination is a function of the journey. So we're here to help you get to the best destination possible. How do we do it? Through the worksheet, which is number 1. Well, that's I've always said it's the most important thing, but I'm going to change that because of our topic for today, Kaizen. So karate chop chop. Kaizen. Good morning, Field Marshal. The Field Marshal, or is it Field Marshal, or is it Fecal Marshal? Glad that you're there. So we're talking about Kaizen, karate chop chop. Why am I so blurry all of a sudden? Hello. Is it blurry to you? Focus cut. There we go. I'm back. Okay. So Kaizen. So I used to say, up until today, I said, the most important thing about this podcast is the worksheet. However, it's not. It's the showing up and watching it, the daily improvement, the making better habits. That's what it is, because a 10% improvement for the workforce or per person in the workforce isn't a 10% improvement of the workforce. It's 10% times the number of people in the workforce. So if everybody's 10% better, you're not 10% better, you're 10% better times the number of people. And that is what catapulted Japanese manufacturing in the 60s, etc., from where they were originally perceived. When I was growing up, you'd get something, if it said, you look at where it was made, it said made in China, you thought cheap, quality, not price, cheap. But with Kaizen, it turned everything around to where Japanese products were considered higher quality, especially like Sony, Honda, Toyota. Okay, so that's going to be our meme for today. We're going to talk about it. It's Darren Hardy, but the most important reason to come is little tiny incremental improvement. And incremental improvement starts with having better habits, always improving your habits. And if you create the habit of creating better habits, you're going to have a lot more better habits. Your habits, you'll always be improving your habits. So you will internalize Kaizen. However, we're not talking about that right now. That is the intro. That's the little hook to get you to watch to the end. And your idea could be, well, I'm only going to watch for 2 minutes or 30 seconds just so I can say I did it. Well, maybe watch for 5 seconds more each day, 1 second more each day. On my screen, there's a little counter in the upper left-hand corner. Maybe just 1 extra second each day. So in 2 months, you've watched it a minute longer. In 6 months, you've watched it 3 minutes longer. In a year, you watched it 6 minutes longer. But by then you might decide, well, a little incremental ratcheting up. Okay, so what else we got on our worksheet, which is the experts. The experts, advice from an 80-year-old. It's not the right one. That was yesterday's. Today's is have a great stereo system. Why? So you can appreciate good music, and you can thus appreciate the artist who created the great music. And thus you can appreciate the amount of energy it goes to make great music. And thus you can appreciate investing time to do things good. So that's the advice from an 80-year-old. Have a great stereo system. Next, what do we got? What do we got here? Red letter. Oh yeah, Darren Hardy. Red letter. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to. Sorry, people. Sorry. Looks like when I was doing this, I got the yesterday's. No, that's right. I got it right. I just need to make it red letter. Okay. Well, Maticus von Atticus, if you're still there, how are things in Fort Prescott? Good morning, Diana. Darren Hardy today, red letter, talking about Kaizen. Now, the thing about the Darren Hardy, they're only up for about 3 days. The rest of them are up forever. Seth Godin, Seth's blog. Let's look at that quickly. A really good reason. Do you see the defaults? Okay, now this is an important one for all of us. The question, what are things like around here, has 2 possible answers. So when you go into someplace new, hey, what are things like around here? Or you're asking yourself that question when you go into something new. When a new idea or opportunity arrives, your organization says yes, unless there's a really good reason to say no. Or your organization says no, unless someone makes a powerful argument for yes. In the no organization, everyone has veto power. If it's inconvenient or feels risky, it doesn't happen. The bias is for the status quo. And in the yes organizations, someone needs to make a very strong case if they want to impede the new work. If it's working for you, keep at it. If it's not, it's worth naming and changing. Meaning, hey guys, we're kind of always negative here. We never do anything different. So, that kind of bleeds over into daily stoic, which is optionality. If you always say no to things, if your predisposition is to say no, to look for what could go wrong, opportunities that you didn't expect never arise. So he gives the example of the speaker talking to the guy, Ryan Hardy, whatever, says, some of my best friends are people I met when I went to a party that I didn't want to go to, but I went anyway. Now imagine, if he didn't go to the party, he probably wouldn't have met the people who became best friends. If you don't try things, there are no unintended consequences. If your predisposition is no, you never get to experience the things that could have happened. In basketball, I think it's you never make the shot you didn't take. Okay, it's only life, people. It's only life. This is a journey. something happens after this. If you play it safe, nothing big is going to happen. Okay, Maticus Fanaticus says, things are okay. How's the weather? Too hot for you? Still in the hundreds there, or is it in the 80s? And Diana, how are things in Portland? The land of the ports. How are things there? You tell me. Okay, cool. Groovy. Okay, so busy day today. Going to Vegas, going to see the Jesuit. Get to spend some time alone with the Jesuit, talking about things. Talking about my new class, Theological Foundations of Ministry. How do we combat the nuns? NONES. How do we deal with that? How do we reverse the trend? Is it okay to just have people say, don't worry, God has a plan. This is all part of God's plan. So that's, again, like you have this father who wants you to do well, but he lets you fail. Says, well, that's part of my plan, is I'm going to make you better by making your life worse. Nah. Let's see. I go to Yakima in a week. It's in a half. Things are all right here. Many homeless that seem to want to stay that way. Correct. They've given up hope. Nobody wants to be homeless, but they think it could be worse, or it can't be better. So those are the people we're trying to get to, is how do we give them back hope? And it's not just, hey, here's a house, here's a this, here's a that. Or on the other hand, could be the Jesus saying it's harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle. Meaning, blessed are the meek. Blessed are the poor in spirit. If they handle it well, it'll be okay, because again, if our life is a journey in time, and our lifespan is the width of a human hair compared to an 8-mile walk, how bad could it be? How bad could this hair width of time be compared to an 8-mile walk of fantasticness? How much suffering would you put up with for this small amount of time to have this amount of time of happiness? It's not the suffering, it's how you handle the suffering. It's not the situation you're in, it's not the stimulus, it's how you choose to respond. And giving up hope is the problem. That's the problem. They're looking for immediate gratification rather than going into church and praying the rosary. Somebody will come along and give them food. There might be a church up there that will let people sleep in the church during the day. There are so many resources here, yet it is the fentanyl that has a hold on them. Right. I don't know what to do about that. But we're at 13 minutes and 44 seconds in. They've given up hope. Fentanyl is just a way to mask the pain of life. It's the rat in the cage, rat in an empty cage. Fentanyl is better than suffering. Embrace the suck. Navy SEALs say, embrace the suck, embrace the suffering. Can people quit fentanyl? Yes, if they have a reason to, if there's something better. It's not a terminal illness. Okay, what else is on our hit parade for today? So we've got Kaizen, Japanese business philosophy that focuses on continuous improvement across all levels of an organization. The word is a combination of the Japanese words kai, meaning change, and zen, meaning good. Kaizen, change good. Okay. Let's see if we got anything else on our hit parade. Advice from a 60 or 80-year-old. Right, talked about that. Stereo system, Goggins, living good. Have to update some of these. Tomorrow is G School. Jordan Peterson had a good one. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember it was good. Okay, that looks like it's it for today, people. We can't expect all of these are going to be good. It's not the quality, it's not the entertainment value, it's the showing up, it's the Kaizen. I try to make them good every day. I do my best every day. Why? Because that's part of my Kaizen. I have tried to create a habit of being better at all the things I do every day. Now, when we talk about the Peloton, what I'm focused on now is how to reduce my heart rate, keep my heart rate low, and have my output increase. Instead of in the past, it was how to burn the most energy, or how to expend the most energy in the shortest amount of time. So that was high heart rate output. But now I'm going the other way. Keep heart rate low, increase output. More stamina instead of output. Where is Wadabevi? Wadabevi's at work. She's at work. She posted a thing saying, my boss called me in early today, so I will not be on the podcast. I will be with you in spirit. And, nope, that was yesterday. Today, she said, today and tomorrow, I'm also starting at 9. And yes, I'm becoming the go-to person. Right, that's what you want to be, the go-to person, the person they call when they say, oh, we got a problem, somebody needs to do something. Who do I call? Ghostbusters. Right. So Wadabevi's there. The other question is, where is Bo? Right, so we shake the can and see who falls out. That's how you separate the wheat from the chaff, right? The talkers from the posers. I'm not saying he's a poser. I'm just saying. That's how you separate it. You tell the people who are actually committed. It's like in venture capital, they talk about ham and eggs. They say the chicken is involved, but the ham is committed. The pig is committed. All righty, people. Well, we've gone over once again, but I enjoy your company. And with that, we'll say Shiva Sin Shalom.